Hey, what's up, soldiers? My name is GregFPS, the Zombies Extraordinaire, and welcome back to another video here today on the channel. Today, guys, we're going to be going through the top 10 worst weapons in Call of Duty Zombies history from World at War through Black Ops 4. Now, last week, I asked you guys to comment those in the comment section, and I got a bunch of responses, but I wanted to let you guys know that I'm not going off how many comments one particular gun got off, because it seems like a lot of people were upset with the best weapons video, and I can kind of understand why the system is a little flawed. Now, I did pick the ones that got the most comments and then ranked those, but I ranked them in my opinion, not necessarily how many votes they got. And next week we're going to be doing the top 10 best characters in Call of Duty Zombies history, but instead of commenting it down below, make sure you guys go and vote. It's going to be the top link in the description. There's going to be a list of every single character we've seen in Zombies, and you guys can actually vote for which character is the best, and then I will make that top 10 next week. So also, one last thing, guys, if you have any ideas for videos that you guys would like to see here on the channel, you can comment those down below. I will be reading them for sure and checking all the comments like I do in every single video, but I'm going to try to upload a video every single day this month. I know it's kind of hard to do, especially with the content I make, because a lot of it takes a lot of time getting gameplay and things like that, but I'm going to try my best to be able to do it. So without further ado, guys, let's get right into the top 10 worst weapons in Call of Duty Zombies history. Coming in at the number 10 spot is going to be the Essex Model 07. Now, this is a Black Ops 4 weapon that you can buy off the wall, or you could actually start with it if you decide. Now, it's going to have 10 rounds per magazine, and it takes about 1 second between each shot that you take, because it is actually a lever action weapon. Now, you can hold down the trigger and it will continuously shoot, but it shoots every shot, like I said, every 1 second. Now, you can buy this off the wall for 500 points, so it's fairly cheap. It's going to be one of those starting weapons that not a lot of people like to use at all in general, and I think the worst memory I have of using this weapon would definitely be the Voyage Gauntlet, where you have to use it on round 26, which can be a huge pain in the butt, because before that you get completely reset and you have to buy all your weapons again. So that is definitely a very, very big annoyance. Now, this is a tactical rifle. I would choose any other rifle that we've had in the starting room, to be honest, over this, like the M14, you know, anything like that. It's just not worth using at all. So that comes in at the number 10 spot. Coming in at the number 9 spot is going to be the China Lake. Now, you guys might be wondering why this is in the top 10, and the reason it's number 9 actually is because it can deal a lot of damage. As you guys will see in the gameplay, I was basically running a train on Kino, and as long as you're far enough away from the zombies, you're not going to get any shell shock, and it's actually going to deal a ridiculous amount of damage towards a horde of zombies. Now, overall, there are a lot of downsides to this weapon. Obviously, you only have 2 grenades per clip, and each time you have to pump it because it's like a pump action rocket launcher, and it's going to shoot like a normal, you know, grenade or noob tube, I guess you could call it. But overall, it's like not actually that bad. It does deal a lot of damage. You have 22 shots total when you get it from the box for 950, and it can actually clear out pretty good. I would definitely say it's inferior to weapons like the LAW or the M72 LAW, but it's still a little bit, you know, useful if you end up getting this weapon and you don't have anything else. So that one comes in here at the number 9 spot. Coming in at the number 8 spot is going to be a weapon from World at War, and that is going to be another rocket launcher called the Panzerschreck. Now, this thing is actually pretty much just as bad as the China Lake. They are similar because it actually deals the exact same amount of damage that the China Lake does. So overall, I would say that the explosions or explosive weapons in World at War are a little bit weird. They don't feel like they're dealing a lot of damage, and that's how I definitely feel about the Panzerschreck. Now, to be honest, you have really, really low mobility, and you have to load each shot after you shoot it, which can be a huge pain in the butt if you decide you want to train zombies. This weapon is really only useful if you're camping in a specific spot with other people who are also shooting weapons at the same time, because you don't actually ever want to use this weapon and use it for like training or anything like that, because you're going to die really quick, and even if you get shots off, you might even get killed by your own explosive damage. So overall, this weapon comes in at the number 8 spot. The only reason I like it more is because you can use it and camp on the catwalk, and if you have other teammates, it's actually pretty good for that if you're not moving. But training wise, yeah, don't do it. It's not a good idea. All right, guys, so coming in at the number 7 spot is going to be the Crossbow from Black Ops 1. Now, obviously, I love the awful lot, and that is the upgraded version, but in this video, we're only talking about the base versions of the weapon, and the Crossbow definitely has to be on this list. As much as I like it, it's just a very, very bad weapon when you get it from the box. You only have 13 shots. Each time you want to add another arrow to your magazine, it takes 2.75 seconds every single time, which can be a huge time if you think about it. And not only that, but you only have 13 shots, which is actually very, very bad. And it's the same thing with the upgraded version, but even the base version of this weapon, you have to be accurate. You have to actually hit zombies, and you have to make sure that all the zombies that you're going to try to kill are actually inside of that area of blast radius. So usually I'll try to shoot a zombie with it like in the middle of a horde and hope that it actually deals enough damage to those around it. But the thing about it is once you get to the later rounds, it's really only going to make crawlers, and you're not going to be able to finish the entire round with this weapon. So that's why I gave it such a low ranking. Now, to be honest, like I said, I really like the awful lot and with monkey bomb effect, but it's just completely different when you're talking about just the regular base version of this weapon. So that's why it comes in here, guys, at the number 7 spot. Coming in at the number 6 spot, it was definitely going to be on this video. It is the War Machine. Now, as you guys know, this weapon is definitely a lot better when you pack a punch it because of direct impact, and it explodes like literally when it hits anything, and you have way more ammo. But the base version of this weapon is actually terrible. So overall, you're going to get 24 shots when you get it from the box, and instead of actually shooting rockets that blow up right away, it literally just shoots out frag grenades. And that's really why it's so bad. Now, as you guys can see in my gameplay, I was playing on buried, and I was shooting it off a wall so that it bounced back and stayed in that area, and that was actually fairly effective at killing zombies on buried. It was such a low round, so it wasn't like anything crazy or anything, but it was still fairly useful. If you had to get stuck with this weapon, you could get kills with it, but it's definitely not one of those weapons that you would desire to keep. Pretty much anything else in Black Ops 2 is much better than this weapon. I would even rather have the SMR, which we'll be getting to fairly soon. But overall, I think the War Machine is just a bad weapon overall. I think it should have definitely exploded when you shot it like in the packed version. But anyways, that one comes in here at the number 6 spot. Definitely a lot higher than I anticipated, to be honest. But yeah, it's really bad. All right, guys, coming in at the number 5 spot is going to be the one that got the most comments on the video last week. And like I said, I wasn't ranking them according to that order or how many votes they got, and that is going to be the SMR. Now, this thing is going to give you 160 shots when you get it from the box for 950. Now, the biggest downside about this weapon is that the accuracy for it is actually really bad. If you ADS, you're going to have so much like recoil that it would make just as much sense to hip fire this weapon the entire time you're using it, which makes it awful. Now, another thing about this weapon that is actually fairly decent is it has 160 shots, so you can get a fairly decent amount of ammo if you're using this weapon on later rounds. But overall, I would not recommend it. Once you get to about round 6 or 7, you're gonna end up using pretty much the entire clip to kill a zombie, and even if you get headshots, it's not going to deal that much damage just because of how weak this weapon actually is. Now, you would think semi-auto weapons are actually fairly good, but this weapon feels even worse than the M14, and I would rather use the M14 over this weapon. So anyways, that one comes in here at the number 5 spot. Definitely a very bad weapon, and I actually kind of liked having bad weapons like this in the box because it made zombies a little bit more difficult, especially on a 2-hit down game like Black Ops 2, and there was obviously a lot of bad weapons in Black Ops 1 as well, which made it a lot more fun. All right, guys, coming in at the number 4 spot is going to be the Kar 98K. Now, obviously, this is a weapon that you can buy off the wall for 200 points, And the reason I put this weapon so high is pretty much based off the scope version of this weapon, because normally when you're using this weapon it only costs 200 and you can only get headshots for the first 3 rounds with this weapon, and then it takes 2 headshots to kill on round 4, making it a very useless weapon. But you can actually get this weapon from the sniper chest, which is located on Knock, and that scoped version of the Kar 98 is actually a lot better. You can get headshots up to round 12 using the scoped version. You can also get the scoped version from the mystery box as well on the other maps, and that's why I put this weapon so high, just because of the scoped version. Now there are a ton of downsides to using this weapon. Obviously the damage is a huge problem. It does take a while to reload. It's like 2.5 seconds I think to reload each shot, and obviously it's a bolt action, so it's not a good weapon to use when you're training and anything like that. The upgraded version, the Armageddon, is actually fairly decent. I wouldn't say it's like absolutely terrible, but it had to be in the number 4 spot. Definitely not super effective, not the best weapon, but it's better than the other bolt actions that we're going to be getting into. Coming in at the number 3 spot is going to be a weapon that we only saw on one map, and that is going to be the Arisaka, which only made its appearance on Shinonuma Off the Wall. Now this is a Japanese Imperial weapon, and the reason I put this one at the number 3 spot is because it's even stronger than the Springfield, which we're going to be getting into. Now you could never pack a punch this weapon, but the good thing about it is you can actually get headshots with this weapon up to round 6, which made it a lot more useful than using the Springfield, which we're going to be getting to in a little bit. Now overall, I thought that this weapon felt a little bit better just because of the iron sight. I felt like the iron sight was a lot easier to aim, unlike the Springfield, which barely has one. It's literally just like a little iron line sticking up. So I think this one is a lot better. Now I thought it was kind of cool how this weapon was only on Shinonuma, considering it was like a Japanese Imperial map and we were killing Japanese soldiers. So I thought that really fit the theme well. But this weapon is still very bad. It only costs 200 points off the wall, and then if you want ammo it's 100. So definitely not that great, and it comes in here at the number 3 spot. Coming in at the number 2 spot, this one is no surprise, and it is going to be the Springfield from World at War Zombies. Now you can buy this off the wall, and you can also get it from the mystery box, and you can only get it off the wall on Varrocked actually, because that's the only time it's a wall buy for 200 points. Now this weapon is so weak compared to the other ones that we already talked about. On round 1, if you shoot the zombie in the leg, it's going to take 2 shots to actually kill it, and headshots stop being a one-shot kill at the end of round 3. So once you get to round 4, you have to shoot in the head twice, making it even worse. So the Springfield is by far the absolute worst version and bolt action weapon in this entire game. The thing about it is it's actually pretty accurate, but the design of the iron sight is like misaligned and it's not really straight, making it a little bit more useless. And like I said, like the iron sight for this is really bad as well. It doesn't make it easier to shoot at all. Now if there was a scope on this weapon or something, it would make it a lot more useful, and we were never able to actually pack punch this weapon onto Reese. So it's just one of those weapons that's like so bad, and it comes in here at the number 2 spot. And coming in as the worst weapon in Call of Duty Zombies history has to be the Welling starting pistol in Black Ops 4 Zombies. Holy crap. This is the absolute worst weapon you could ever start with, 100%, because of how bad this weapon actually is. Now you can get a headshot on round 2, but after round 2, nope, you can't get headshots anymore. You have to get body shots. Now this weapon is fairly good if you're getting points on the early round, and you start with the normal ammo that you've had in like Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 1. So everyone would kind of expect this weapon to be like okay, but since this weapon has no attachments, it's only in zombies, and you have to use this weapon at the start when you start playing zombies or after you prestige, it just makes this weapon like completely awful. Like obviously the Strife is 100 times better than this weapon, and all the other weapons in zombies are better than this weapon. I feel like this weapon is so weak, and that's why the Welling comes in here, guys, at the number 1 spot for the worst weapon in Call of Duty Zombies history. So anyways, guys, Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure to vote for your favorite character in the link in the description, and that will be next week's video. And once again, if you guys have any ideas, you can comment them down below in the comment section. My name is GregFPS, the Zombies Extraordinaire, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.